Okay, I guess this is part two. They cut off the data. I think they say it was unlimited data on the Obama phone with Assurance Wireless, but they lied. They lied. I mean, it's like it come on and off. Like later on, it might come back again. The data. I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna come back. I don't know. But anyway, I guess I was talking about shoot, I lost. Well, today is the 5th of July. July, mofo. July 5th, 2022. It's right now. It's 7:54 in the a.m. So they say it's gonna be cloudy the whole day. So today and tomorrow it's supposed to rain. Tomorrow night it's supposed to rain this afternoon. So it's all right. Whatever. Like, um, I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yes, I was talking about the Mexican Revolution. How the Mexican Revolution played into this feminist agenda, because it's like, and I'm just as I speak right now, I'm developing this idea. It's like because I really don't see much. I mean, like other than Zapata, Villa, you know, the usual suspects. Like they would say, the heroes of the revolutions, are men. But especially in the last 20 years, it's like, oh my God, there was somebody, these women, these women, it was like, La Cucaracha. La Cucaracha was a legendary woman, a prostitute, which like the song say it, that she was addicted to smoking bud. And they made fun of her because when she ran out of bud, that bitch was not able to do what she did, what she like, who she was. So I think it's cutting my okay. So she was not able to do what she to be who she was. I don't know if it was true or if it was just like a malicious, like whatever. I don't know. But that was like the people, it's the people songs. There's a lot of songs from the revolutions. They are called corridos, corridos with double R, and they just tell the story. They just tell the story. This, because we gotta remember that the revolution and every war in the Americas, or well, we are in the Anahuac. This is the real name of this land, all the way from here to Nicaragua. That's what Nicaragua means. It was the land of the Arawaks. It was the land of the Arawaks. So that's why it's saying Nicaragua. It's like saying this is the land of the Arawak now. It was like not like Mayan per se, but I mean, it might have been like the Arawaks that was there before, the Mayans. I don't know, because there's a lot of like in continental, you know, the Americas. It's there's no really much talk about the Arawaks. I always see when I hear the Arawaks, I see the Caribbean, the Antilles, right? But it's like when you look Nicaragua, and I mean, I look it up one day, not long ago. I looked it up, Nicaragua. I was like, but I looked it up. I forgot how I looked it up, but they say something about the Arawaks. I don't remember, that they was there in that lane. So anyway, they use the revolution as an excuse, that to say, oh yeah, it don't matter. You gotta be ratchet because the revolution. I don't know if the same thing happened in Cuba or in Nicaragua with the Sandinista revolution, the Cuban Revolution, the Sandinista Revolution. I haven't seen it, and I do follow a lot of people on Twitter from Nicaragua, you know, because I do find them really. I admire them for continuing the revolution after what is that, 50 years, 60 years, I don't know, and the successes that they got, and see the marches, the parades, stuff like that, and they celebrate their holidays. They're very, very meticulous. They celebrate each battle every day. Like this month of July, they call it the month of victories because they got a lot of victories. I forgot the names of the holidays over there in Nicaragua, but I do follow them. But I don't see. Well, these are African people in Nicaragua. They're like, you find I find myself like in the south of Mexico and in Central America. There was not that agenda of mixing with the natives. So you find out, a lot of, you can see very clearly in most Nicaraguans, you can see the Africoid features, except they are pale, except that they are pale, at least the ones that, and I find that out, in like so-called Latin America, you don't really find a lot of melanated people, and that shit is crazy. That shit is crazy. It's like, and then there's a lot of profiles that they don't put a picture on it, so I don't know. But most of them, like you see, like all these like pale skins, like supposedly, showing off, and you can tell, very odd looking, kind of like Kaepernick, like, uh, uh, or Obama. And anyway, so they use the revolution like to say like, oh yeah, it's the bad bitches, like, it's like that's the excuse, and they're always trying in Mexico. They're always trying to like, oh my God, and this such and such, and she was instrumental because it wasn't her. And I noticed the same thing with African Americans. It's like, oh my God, like Harriet Tubman, like all these. They keep coming out with more and more female names and stuff, and they underplay the heroes, the male hero. Well, I think hero is a male word, because that's what it entail, right? It entail that you got discipline. A hero gotta have discipline, consistency, congruency, and women not so much, right? And but guess what? Guess what? We are being enabled. We are being enabled. I remember the 90s. I remember the 90s. I was right here. And I saw really how shameless it was, that, oh my God, you got combat boots and you got the combat hat, the camouflage dress, like whatever, like, oh, you're revolutionary, and they just put the fist and like, and that was it. It was just a show. But the reward was like, oh, it's a bad bitch. It's like look at her. What she have done? What she done? Nothing. Have a nice afro, and like Angela Davis. Case in point. Although that was in the 60s and 70s, but I think you see how far the agenda is. It's like, that was an example. And people, they don't know. She's not only a lesbian. but she only sleep with Becky, only Becky's. And like you go like, how can you trust somebody like that? But she's the number one icon, the number one icon. And the other one, there was another, like, I mean, she looked like Rachel Dolezal, but with an afro, really odd looking. She was the wife, I think, of P. Newton. I don't know. She was the wife of somebody. She's still alive. They're still alive. I mean, it's like that is in. I think like that should never fail. Like W.E.B. Du Bois, he died 95 years old in Africa, in glory, in like whatever. Non plus ultra, and the most honorable Marcus Garvey, he died in shame. He died in shame, like, so now that's how you know who the real heroes are. Malcolm X, you know. I mean, like, that's how you know that also Dr. King got real after the assassination of the Honorable Malcolm X. Finally, he believed him. But the damage was already done. The damage was already done. All black businesses was going out of business because nobody wanted to go patronize black-owned business. And to this day, I mean, I have seen when I used to be reading African American Twitter, which I wasted 10 years out of my life. It's like they had that all the time. But it's like, I never really saw like it really took off. I saw many times like, come on guys, we're gonna have a campaign, and you know we're gonna be like trying to shop, and everybody who's a friend of African Americans gonna be shopping at black-owned businesses. And for a little while, they was publishing a list of businesses, and then it fizzled. And then it fizzled, like, and then it just became like a yearly thing. We're gonna do Black Friday. We're gonna do it African American Friday, for real. And this and that. Oh, there was a time they were shutting down, like, the Magnificent Mile in Chicago, which was great. But it was like, you can tell how those people, they did it strategically. They got paid, they got bought to stop the protest on Black Friday, especially in Chicago, which I saw the videos. That shit got pretty big. It was shutting down department stores. You cannot go in the store, whatever. And that was it. Like our president in Mexico, he tell us, that's like, immediately, we used to have a dictator at the end of the 19th century. He was an SOB, He wanted to make Mexico, he wanted to turn it into Europe. He was so Eurocentric. And he was black. Like, and he ended up like bleaching his skin at the end of his life. It's like really freaky. I told my dad one time, and my dad, oh, he's so distinguished. It's like, well, I did not know what I said. I said, like, how come, he started black, and like Michael Jackson, like Serena Williams, which is like, I heard that she got eliminated this year in Wimbledon. Like this, it's like, I don't know if it's the bleaching cream, I don't know, of the old age. It's like, why can you retire with dignity? Come on. Retire with dignity. Why you gotta... Well, I heard the prices. It's like really nice. Their words. Their words are a lot of money. So, but anyway, I mean, it shouldn't be like that. It should be always like, how great are you? And, I would say, shut the F up. Let me talk to your prodigies or proteges, whatever you say that. I want to talk to your protege. Who is it that you're mentoring? How many championships they won? How many, like, whatever, like, because if it's just you, then you're egocentric, you're selfish, and you're useless, because that's it. Oh no, how can you say that? Because I used to say that to African Americans, and they obviously hated me even more because that's all they posted all the time. The first African American this, the first African American that, the first African American like, and 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 that shit was like 100 years ago, and just still like that's all they posted. That was the whole like revolutionary. The first this, the first that. It's like, yeah, we know that, and then what? It come to a point. It came to a point that I was like, I was feeling like, oh my god, these guys are in cahoots with the empire. Because and sure enough, the data prove it that this empire, in a big part, it is what it is because of African American inventions. If that is the case, I'm sure there's a lot of African American inventions, but I feel like some of them there was like, you know, let's pin it on them so we can continue getting all these suckers, in and give us, I don't know. But it gotta come to a point that you go like, hey, you're a big part of the problem, because you are making your slave master billions of dollars. For what? So your slave master can come to Latin America and F us up. And sure enough, then they came, whatever, then came ADOS, and now came whatever. And what they all got in common? They all was blasting the blood spangled banner in social media, their profiles. You go like, I was not surprised because I know it's like, no matter what, that you can say nothing bad about their slave master. Nothing. Especially like, you jump into a conversation. Yeah, whatever, like Neanderthal. It was like, you could like start adding more facts to a thread, like whatever. It's like, okay, this is a controlled demolition. You cannot just interrupt, whatever. I don't know. It just felt like, they wasn't happy as it is supposed to be. Like, oh, okay, so you are telling me more. So we having a thread over here, you know, exposing the crimes against humanity, by the empire, we are exposing, white on world crime, right? But the moment that you start like, then, it's just like, it just did not add up. It just did not add up, like, something fishy about it. They always protect them, no matter what. And as I always have called it, it's like fatal attraction. It's a fatal attraction from African Americans, and like, I cannot compare my situation, obviously, but shit, I got, well, according to our African American brothers and sisters, I got everything I could desire, right? Everything I could dream of, whatever. In big part, it's because of my work, because of my savings, rather. So my savings, I didn't work that hard, but sure saved 98% of my income, you know, since I got here. I got here in 1989. So by the time, somebody told me that there was apartments where I'm at, you know, I didn't even know I had the money for that apartment. I had my $20,000 saved, and that was only $20,000. It was and I did buy some stuff. I did buy some stuff. I mean, I still work at Marshall Field, so I did buy a couple pieces from there, really expensive. Even with the employee discount, even when there was on clearance, I still pay like, what was the most extravagant thing? I think it was a coat, it was a jacket. It was a jacket, like 300 something. I don't know. It was designer. I'm not gonna make a publicity, but it's a big designer at the time. And so, but I had my $20,000, and I still couldn't believe it. When this guy told me that he was gonna give me a referral for his building. I say fine. I did not get excited at all. I did not get excited. Actually, I did not get excited until I don't think I ever got excited because I think of the immigration thing. I was, which was stupid. I mean, like in retrospective, so like, and now I think it was a big lesson. Enjoy myself. Whatever. Don't think about. Because I never fixed nothing in the apartment. And guess what? The person who was there, they never fixed shit either. Years later, I found out that there was this old hag, probably a feminist, I don't know, who died in there. And she was a small hag. And never fixed nothing because, that's usually how we do. But, I mean, not anymore now. It's like there's a lot of tomcats that they can paint the house, they can, plaster, whatever. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of more things, I guess, now than my generation. I don't remember my generation so much. There was a one or two women that I saw that it was painting their house, I think, or a wall, rather like a wall. But like in the 70s, it was more about wallpaper. I think we had just had that craze, the wallpaper craze, which it was nice. It was nice, some of it. Some wallpapers was really nice. But yeah, so I think I have like most of the shit is all the original. Most of the original. That building was built in 1953, something like the early 1950s or mid 1955. I forgot. I don't know when it was finished. I guess it was finished in 53. So it got the same. What I did is like, I used to go to the Family Dollar and buy these paintings. It was so cheap, paintings, photocopies, whatever. And some of them was pretty nice, some flowers and stuff. So that's how it covered the whole thing. And later on, I got, some furniture in the dining room, basically, and color espresso. They call it espresso, which is like mostly like black. I mean, like the table is not really. It's like, but unless you put like direct sunlight, then you know that it's not the same color as the chairs. But it's very nice. It's very nice, and of course, the walls they look like they have. Where there's a clause and that we cannot paint the walls any other color but white. I think that's also why it turned me off. Which is like they had all these rules. I'm supposed to put carpet on the floor. Hell no, I did not put no carpet on the floor. Crazy. How filthy that shit is. Um, thank God. Thank how they never enforced it. The carpet on the floor and yeah, no, because supposedly they say it's like you don't make noise for your roommates that way, but it's concrete. So, so I was talking about again, the feminism thing. With the revolution, they keep looking for all these pictures, and I don't know, it might be like fake pictures. Some of these women that they got, the bullets, they got the bullets, carrying the bullets. Which that is true. You know, we carry the ammunition, right, for the men, for the most part. Say like, oh, there was magnificent shooters and like blah blah blah. Basically, now they have gone so crazy that I have seen articles. They say that oh, the Mexican Revolution was won, supposedly won by the women. Like, and sure enough, fast forward and you see some of the profiles on social media. They have some of these pictures. They put pictures of women that really like like was that Rosie the Riveter. They have like just madness, So yeah, I even forgot what I was talking about these movies. Most of her papers, most of her